Hello, can I have a moment to talk with you about this cool book?
Oh, Lord Cthulhu has answered my calls. It's an eldritch fish monster. Fatang!
Is that in this book? I still haven't finished it, so you might know better than me.
What book is that? The Necronomicon?
No, actually it's called the Book of Mormon. It's about this guy named Joseph Smith who talked to a person named God. And then this God person was nice and gave him some gold tablets, but according to my friend at the church, the tablets weren't like computer tablets the kids look at all day. So like some older version of that, I guess. And golden.
So did my ritual summon you, or...?
I don't know about a ritual. Were you expecting me?
I was hoping for you. My name is Max Ravenshadow, and I pledge my allegiance to the Ancient Ones. I will be your humble servant for as long as you need me.
Whoa. Cool. So you can help me spread Mormonism.
Is this Mormon thing a test?
I think so. This one person named Noah was asked to cut a baby in half by God, and, was that Moses? Or was that Jesus?
That was Moses.
Oh, so you're Mormon too. Cool.
No, I worship the Eldritch Ones. My mom just used to force me to go to Catholic Mass. It was awful. Everyone there was preppy and catty, and I hated them all.
Oh, well that sucks, I guess. You should come with me to my church. It's really chill.
Don't we have better things to do, like engage in cosmic battles or do the bidding of the King in Yellow?
Oh, I don't know. Is that in this book?
I can assure you, there's nothing about this in that book. This is stuff from the Necronomicon.
Oh, I should really focus on this for now. I'm not a very quick reader.
Look, What's your name?
Dagon the Mormon.
Dagon, look, I live in a very conservative world that I don't fit into. I've needed something for a while now. Something to help me feel not so alone. All my friends are either online in different parts of the world or work at that hot topic that's an hour from here. And I was hoping when I saw you through that peephole that you would set me free. That you'd help me ascend or kill me or anything. I can't take this loneliness anymore. I need someone to understand me.
Oh, that's pretty heavy. The good news is my friends at the church are really nice. They accept me, and not many people do. And either way, it's free ginger ale.
This is all very strange.
Well, if you feel like coming, is the Mormon temple over there? That way-ish? We're watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer tonight.
It's February.
It is.
I'll think about it.
Cool. Maybe I'll see you later.
Wow, I have a lot to think about. I think the ritual actually works. But for future reference, I shouldn't have used that stuffed goat. Maybe if it was a real goat, he wouldn't have been Mormon.
Welcome to the Fear Fiction Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Funny thing about Facebook, you know that hot topic, Facebook, that everybody's talking about?
That thing that needs to die, that is populated solely by boomers right now.
Yeah, I go on Facebook from time to time to check on like one or two groups that I used to belong to on Facebook that I kind of like, well, let's just see what's going on there. But other than that, it's like a wasteland, like devoid of any interaction or content.
I just muted every human being.
Yeah. You use that block bot where it just blocks every single user, even new registers, everybody. Yeah.
I mean, just like everyone I know, I don't want to hear what they have to say. I don't want to hear about their day.
Right.
Well, see, I just don't go on Facebook for that. Unfortunately, I have to keep it literally for my job because sometimes I have to do legal research through that. So I have to have Facebook, and I'm pissed off about it.
He works for Mark Zuckerberg. He has to research the numbers of girls in his area. But, yeah. Speaking of girls in your area, the reason I bring this up is Facebook is a wonderful website that recommends people to you, even people you don't want to hear from.
Constantly, yes.
Constantly, yes. And those people you don't want to hear from are known as Facebook users. But so the other day, I'm on there just logging in, checking shit out, because I always log out of it because I'm like, I don't want to get into that position where I'm saying I don't know what I'm doing, so I might as well check Facebook. I don't want to do that, so I log out of it to make sure it's a hassle every time I do it.
Mm-hmm.
It recommends people to you, and it's lovely because it will recommend people you really don't want to talk to ever again, like ex-girlfriends.
Ooh.
So I'm on Facebook. I'm sitting there, and right at the top bar, in that recommended person area, is a picture of one of my exes, okay? It's an old picture that I recognize, right? And this isn't the first time this has happened. You could just scroll by it, whatever. Oh, there's that again, haha. But this is an old picture I recognize with the face photoshopped to be, like, really bony and skeletal.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, you have my attention now. What? Okay.
Where was this enthusiasm when we were dating?
Yeah, exactly. Now why couldn't you become skeletal while we were dating? I tried to get you all that time. I tried to pressure you, but no. All that gaslighting.
Always had a thing for bone girls.
Yeah, bone girls. Bone girls are easy. You remember that movie from the 80s? But yeah, so I'm like, okay, what's up with this? I'm intrigued. What the fuck? So I click on the profile, which is always a mistake.
Always a mistake.
Always a mistake. First post on the timeline, okay, says Juggalette for life. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So I'm like, holy fuck. It's like, there's a lot of things you could hear about, like, somebody that you've known or dated or even a family member you haven't heard from in a while. Juggalette for life is pretty high up there on the things that are disturbing to learn later on in life. But my real cold open is this. I thought this was a good opportunity to ask you guys, has anything similar ever happened to you where you've either run into an ex or have seen or heard about them and found out something interesting?
Absolutely. I've had a situation where an ex pops up and it's like, oh, you're doing horribly.
And she's like, let me out of here. Please unchain me. It's like, oh my God, you look so emaciated. It's like, you don't feed me.
No, she didn't look emaciated at all.
Oh, no.
Quite the opposite.
God damn it.
No, that's rude and that's body shaming, and she was really fat.
Okay. I think we've all been there. But anyway, so
no, I in high school I dated the skinniest girl in the school, and then turned around and dated the fattest girl in the school because I don't discriminate.
He literally turned around physically. Says, "I'm done with you." He turned around and said, "Oh, right behind me. You're next. Yeah,
you're next. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this work."
Yeah.
And then I dated Chelsea, and then I haven't stopped dating Chelsea, and that was a good decision.
Did you ever stop dating Chelsea for a while and then find out she was doing really horribly like a day later?
She's suddenly smart and not a lesbian.
Yeah. You're just gaslighting Chelsea. You're just putting all this lesbian porn on her phone, and you're like, you put that there. You're like Chelsea, teaching her wrong shit. She's like, Brandon, I just learned, the numbers in pi, and you're like, pie's a food, idiot. You're like, just gaslighting the shit out of her.
Go look at boobs again. What's
Go look at boobs, you dumb lesbian.
So, Abysmii, this has never happened to you, eh?
The only exes I've run into on Facebook are doing perfectly fine, and then one just yeeted the fuck out of Facebook, I think, and I don't know what happened. Something could have happened. I wouldn't have known. That's it. Unfortunately, I don't have nice stories.
Based on the fact that you just unironically used the word yeeted properly, I think maybe you might be the ex that people run into.
Oh, probably.
Say, oh my god.
Oh god.
He's saying
he works
yeet.
in a law firm? Ugh. Oh, he's another white boy with a podcast. Oh, it's so tragic.
Oh god. Oh god, he's white now. Wait, what? What?
Oh, he's painting toys. God.
I've
Well,
noticed.
I don't know, actually. Sorry, last thing I'll say, I don't put anything on Facebook, so I don't know what anyone could actually glean about me other than that I visited the UK again a few years ago. That's the last thing I put on there.
Visited the UK and saw all his British exes, but go ahead, sorry.
I've noticed that people aren't really jealous of like, Brandon, he's such a good catch. That's not a thing. And then people aren't like, oh, Chelsea, she's such a good catch. But what I've noticed is that people are really fucking jealous of the fact that we have a stable long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And just don't put any work into it. It just happens. And that drives people up the wall.
So neither of you are a catch, but you work well together. You're sort of like the two odd off-brand bootleg stuffed animals left in the crane machine after everything else is gone. Is that what I'm hearing?
She's a low intelligence lesbian attracted to a man.
Damn it.
And I like Creepypasta.
Right.
No.
I think I've noticed that the most successful couples that I know of don't do anything on Facebook. Like, I think there's a weird correlation there, probably.
Well, see, I was thinking more like, even if it's not on Facebook, have you run into anybody? So maybe Abysmii's trying to hide some deep dark secret.
I got on
Facebook.
Twitter because no one I know from like my family and school and everything was on there. So that was kind of nice because I'm like, I don't want to see yet another political meme from you. I might as well go to Twitter where I can very finely curate what I see.
Got it.
And I'm not on any other social medias that would include people from my past. So yeah.
Boy, you Abysmii, with your take on technology, you really are some sort of hipster potato. You know that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reference, but okay.
Yeah.
I just noticed the name of the author of this story. The Truth Behind Hipster Potato by user Hipster Potato Project.
So I was thinking, like, okay, is Hipster Potato some, early aughts Disney Channel cartoon that we're just too old to know about?
It's the new Happy Happy.
Well, yeah, I was like going to refrain from looking it up, and now I realized, oh no, this is just a thing someone made up. Okay, that's better.
Hipster Potato came back into the Whole Foods, scratched his little manlet beard, and looked happy from killing children. It's just Happy Happy too. But
if we could only be so lucky, we will see.
Happy Happy versus Hipster Potato, I'd watch that.
Killing kids before it was cool. But so here's the thing. I didn't tell you guys this in leading up to this. This actually, I think, if I am, correct in what I think about this, was part of an ARG attempt.
No.
And that's why the username is Hipster Potato Project. I don't know if it went anywhere. It does have 8 upvotes. I'm not sure if any of the things tied to it were successful, but I just wanted to take sort of a look at the story from somebody who was trying to create an ARG, and maybe they did it. Maybe it's wildly popular and I don't even know it, but probably not.
Or, maybe it's really controversial.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's get into it and let's see what it has on offer. Introduction FBI report / briefing analysis of Mr. Luckett's letter. The validity of the director's letter is shaky to say the least. Our research has concluded that there was a student named Jason Luckett at Nashville Watkins College, and he did complete a thesis project called Hipster Potato. According to film department chair Richard Gershwin, the performance pitch meeting as described in the letter never happened. Gershwin said they corresponded through email mostly, and the meeting they did have were always professional, never emotional.
Of the project, Gershwin says he was hesitant at first. Mr. Luckett from Nantucket has suggested creating a full-service food truck as promotion for the film. Okay, so Hipster Potato's a film. Did we... Yeah, it's just a student at the college, but and I was wondering. Oh, according to film department chair. Duh. Okay, cool. Sorry. Blah blah blah. He said he could do it for under $2,000, which a quick price check of required materials, appliances, and permits is unlikely and probably impossible.
So this is possibly a happy thing.
Maybe.
Type thing. Maybe like a children's show. I don't know.
All right, let's read the next line. A forensic look at the letter. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Gershman remembers suggesting to strip the idea and keep with the mystery narrative.
No, if you want to be the next Candle Cove, you gotta do is keep the narrative mysterious.
Mm-hmm. No, a serial killer did it. So this is reading so far like it's just a blow-by-blow of the person making this ARG. Like, what they were doing in college.
Which I don't have a problem with, because that's a new thing I've never seen put to paper. So, hey.
You still haven't. In the letter, possibly sent to film festivals and industry professionals, unconfirmed, Luckett suggested the idea came from a computer program. Without an affidavit, we have not been able to look at the computer he supposedly used to communicate with the program. Now, I was going to ask you, Abysmii, I think they mean warrant instead of affidavit?
Yeah. Affidavit is basically a swearing of something under perjury. It's a statement.
Okay. But remote scans have shown that the computer has been in use several times since the release of the film. A note that contradicts his letter.
So there's some organization remotely scanning a computer, I'm not even going to question how that works, of this film student. That is out there. It can work, but this is going to need to be really profound, I think.
We don't know what's going on yet exactly, or why there's so much intrigue around this Hipster Potato film.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, despite the dryness of this, I'm kind of intrigued as to where this is going.
Right.
That's the word I would use too. It is intriguing. So,
and we have to remember there is no date on when this happened. So all of this spying on American people and stuff, this could have been in a era where America did that. I don't know when that would be.
No, Slimebeast. You got to get an affidavit if you want to do that.
Damn it.
The hard drive had been unplugged since then, and my computer turned off. I don't think she has access to any of the project files, and I hope she stays dormant as long as my computer is off.
Okay, so this is a different letter.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the others mentioned in the letter, some mysteries remain. Devin and Noah are identified as Devin Drake and Noah Fagan. Both real.
Now.
Fagan.
Oh, I guess it would be Fagan.
Yeah.
Both real, both close friends. They worked on the short in the same roles as on Luckett's previous short, Pilots.
Okay, I really am getting a Marble Hornets vibe right now.
Ooh. You're getting a marble hornet in your pants. Can that be the term for when you are reading a good story and you get a boner? You're getting a marble hornet? No? Okay.
A raging hornet right now.
Got a raging hornet.
Oh my god.
Got a clue. Nick, however, does not seem to be real. A friend of all three, Nick Ryu, Nick Ryu does not seem to fit the bill and never lived in Austin.
Okay.
No other
location.
Nick. But that's the thing, is we were talking about Nashville before, weren't we?
Yeah, but now we have like the location of the actual filming.
Perhaps.
Nashville, Texas, yeah.
No other Nick seems to be significant in Jason's life when we reference the social media activity.
Wow, Facebook comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Luckett's phone records never show outgoing/incoming phone calls from the city of Austin, Texas, apart from a few repetitive calls from debt collection agencies. Local police records show no disappearance of anyone named Nick from the time in question. Our research therefore indicates that he probably does not exist.
I like the covering of they never got any calls from Austin except for, those spoof phone calls that try to get you to basically try to scam you, which could be misleading or could be accurate. That was a good touch.
Well, I mean, he is a student, so he probably is in a lot of debt. So.
Yeah. So far, there doesn't seem to be any danger present, and the mysterious supplements to the film are probably a marketing ploy. This includes the letter, any Instagram content from Real Sarah Townsend, Hipster Potato Project, or Jason's own Jason Super Online. It also includes the posters placed around the city of Nashville, which read hipsterpotato.com, secret, 3 exclamation points.
if this ARG, flat out just failed, this hurts, because he did all this. You know that those Instagrams exist, and you know he put up fucking flyers around Nashville.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think it might be like a level of self-awareness. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I don't know if this is something that they actually did, or if that's something that they're trying to project.
Yeah. Weird.
He's
going to the websites.
Putting it in chat.
He's getting a marble hornet. You hear that? So we've got an Instagram of Jason Luckett.
Jason's super online.
And yeah, just a bunch of normal photos.
And then stuff about Super Potato.
Now it's asking me to log in. Fuck.
Oh,
right.
You can just click off of that. That's what I did.
No, I can't. It's not letting me.
Anyway.
Good work, Abysmii. Fucking Jesus Christ.
So this does look like an earnest ARG attempt. For sure.
Ernest P. Worrell starts his own ARG. Ernest. Scared stupid too. All right, so
Ernest breaks the internet.
Oh God, they would make that. Fuck. Oh, I'm going to DeviantArt. That's just George W. Bush. Our conclusion is that this is all just a desperate cry from someone who is in an insurmountable amount of student loan debt. Yeah.
Ooh.
We've confirmed the numbers upwards of 120,000. Wow.
Jesus Christ, for fucking film school?
Maybe. Maybe it took a long time for him to find out his true calling, so he went to like medical school, and he went to lawyer school, he went to clown college.
He went to law school, it'd be a lot more than 120K.
Oh. What about clown college?
Maybe 120,000 balloons to pay.
Come on, he's not a clown lawyer.
The film industry, as with all the arts, is, as we know, nearly impossible to break into. Yeah, the person who wrote this really is a film student. It's impossible to get into. Fucking, they won't even listen to me.
We have not seen the film at this point. We were initially tipped off to check the official website, hipsterpotato.com. Oh, you hadn't thought of that before? If it was even there, it had since been removed. Clicking a certain link leads us to an eerie YouTube video. I don't know how many are there, but we've seen at least 2, another marketing gimmick to be sure. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. It does seem to have this like self-awareness of like this as an attempt at an ARG rather than an earnest attempt at an ARG, if that makes any sense. It's like an ironic ARG.
Like a hipster ARG?
Hey, meta.
RG, yeah.
I mean, I respect the fact that they actually made all this shit. Hipsterpotato.com is still up. It was made between 2017 and 2018.
Wow.
So I will say, this isn't what we typically critique on this podcast, but putting a story out there that explains all the ins and outs of your ARG to entice people to visit your ARG is not the best way to go about it. And I'm sure you've probably caught on to that by now. But I still respect all the work that went into it. You know, it's not an easy thing to do.
Since you say that, I'm starting to wonder. This was posted 3 months ago. I'm starting to wonder. You said this was from 2017 to 2018.
That's when the copyright for hipsterpotato.com is displayed.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering if this was an ARG that was launched, and part of me picking this for us to read was I kind of wanted to see if this. I was like thinking, does the story stand on its own, or do you need to know more about from the ARG to understand it? Blah blah blah. But now my question is: was this an ARG that was launched in 2018 and nobody bit, and so now this write-up has been made to sort of entice people into it, sort of saying, you see the website here that ties in this way, you get it? And, you know, the video ties in like this. You see how that was supposed to work, you know?
Was it made was it made a couple years ago and then purposefully not brought up, so it has the kind of appearance of genuineness of, oh, it's 2 years old. No one's seen this yet. I'm the first to find it, or something like that. I don't know.
Well, that is kind of the issue, though, is I think a lot of people see this ARG stuff and think, wow, that's really cool and interesting, and I would like to contribute. Mm-hmm. The fact is, even if it's good, the internet just doesn't give a fuck, and it really sucks.
Definitely.
I mean, I know I've gone through that frustration with like the whole Yuki thing and everything, and it's like I was very grateful for the people who did participate in doing Yuki and everything, which was a considerably smaller project, like not even very ARG-ish, just like the lightest amount of interactivity.
Yeah.
But
a lowercase ARG.
Yes.
There's a very, very small subset of the internet that actively looks for and attacks ARGs and tries to decipher them and all that. And it's like, it's hard to funnel it to that one place and not get buried under everyone else trying to do it.
Well,
so, yeah.
you almost need to be a corporation to do it. You almost need to be a Valve or a Blizzard. And the last time that like Blizzard attempted that, they attempted it with the Sombra thing, and it just ended up being a bunch of filler and like dumb puzzles no one wanted to solve.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem too is there's a lot of looking down on self-advertising, which has been something I've thought about for a while. Is like, really, unless somebody is posting something that is not related to your topic, or they're posting it repeatedly, I don't know why people have such a fucking problem with self-advertising, because, in my opinion, someone should be able to say, you know, hey everybody, you're a subreddit, or you're a Discord server, or you're a forum that loves ARGs. Here's one I made. You know, people should be able to fucking do that without everybody going, you know, jumping down their throats and it getting deleted.
Imagine that, advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
Being proud of the work you've done and trying to get it in front of people like everyone else is trying to do. Yeah.
It's really fucking
even
weird.
Even if it's not successful, like getting feedback and that kind of stuff is really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I made an ARG once, sort of, but nobody. Actually, I guess I've made a couple, but I've made a lot of ARGs. Never mind.
It's just not a viable thing to do. Unfortunately, you already have to have the attention of the internet in some other way.
You have to like that, and you have to balance very compelling characters or protagonist or something with gimmicks that are enticing. That's a very difficult balance that so many people fail at because it's just so hard. There's so many like back when I was kind of into them a few years ago, I got burned out relatively quickly because it's just, another puzzle. But I don't care about anything behind these puzzles, so I'm not going to bother with them.
Ooh, piece of puzzle.
And a lot of people, I think, like a lot of people saw Marble Hornets and went, I could do that, but then missed the point of Marble Hornets.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's an easy thing to do because you look at Marble Hornets and there are so many things of like, okay, why is this successful? Even if you have an analytical brain, breaking it down isn't necessarily easy. But if you look at, there was another, I don't know if it was like a Slender Man thing, but there was something where they just like wrote words upside down, and I'm like, it's not
a puzzle.
That's not a puzzle. And it's easy to laugh at and everything, but it is just like, okay, that is interactive. You are asking something of the audience, but you have to think of like, does this mean anything to the story? And that gets way harder.
You're reading through the ARG's material and you're going, why does this say, we fucked your WoW? Wait a minute, if I turn that upside down, oh no!
Oh no.
And the thing about Marble Hornets is that you can ignore the ARG aspect entirely, and it's still a compelling story.
Yeah, let's see if this is still
utterly,
a compelling story.
Utterly like supplemental, which was nice. Anyway, we've reached out to Mr. Lucka to ask for the full short film, pretending to work for a local publication, and he has yet to get back to us. We will edit the report once we've seen it, and hopefully close this minor case.
By the way, full short sounds like a good, heist movie, and minor case sounds like a good movie about a lawyer who's a toddler. Jason Luckett's letter. To whom it may concern. Don't worry, this isn't an appeal or a pitch for an idea. The film's already been made. It's in your house already. And it's definitely not a begging for acceptance into a festival. I don't care what happens with my film. I know it's too long for some short film blocks, and you just won't have room. Rather, this letter is an account of my experience making a short called Hipster Potato. It's just so silly, come on. And the dangers to my life that it presented. I'm waiting for Hipster Potato to come through as like, okay, I could see why they named it that. Like, I'm waiting for that moment, but we'll see.
I just can't help but feel that this is sardonic. I think it is just like self-aware joke.
Let's find out.
I can never go back. It was when I started to, it was when I was accepted into the film. Oh my god.
You're okay.
It's
all right. It's gonna be all right. It's okay.
It started
You're
when
right.
I
It's
was...
okay.
Damn it. I just have you're just making things I need to edit out. It started when I was accepted into the graduate film program at Watkins College, but I don't even remember making the decision to apply, honestly. An unlucky series of events, I guess, and I was suddenly a student again. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't really even remember making the decision to move to Nashville in the first place. I never know what to say when people ask why I came here.
Sounds like everybody in Tennessee.
Oh.
Why am I here? What the
Could be doing anything else. Except for people who are going to Dolly World.
Ah, yeah, that's true. All those millions of people.
Anyway, I had a bit of success, I thought at least, with my first short film production during the program. It won the Grand Jury Student Prize at Nashville Film Festival, which was insane. I didn't think it would even get accepted. I'm just so good.
Yeah. Now, there's a big oversight there, not just calling it Nashfilm, but okay.
Yeah.
For my second short, which was my final thesis, I wanted to do something that was bigger and badder than the first one. I needed to do something huge because it was the last chance I could use the college's resources for free. Yeah. Well, not for free, I guess. I'm in a lot of debt. I got to researching about what I wanted to write a script about. Okay. So far, nothing really has happened, which is interesting. We got this thing where there's a third person named Nick who doesn't exist, but other than that, it's like,
It feels like this is actually where the story is actually starting to start instead of before.
Right.
Yeah, all the preamble is the preamble is trying to convince us of the validity, I guess, of the ARG, which is kind of superfluous to do. But yeah.
I had a longtime friend, Nick, who was finishing his master's in programming. We were the best friends from childhood through our undergrad, but lost touch after I moved to Nashville. While we were catching up on the phone one night, he told me about his thesis project. I was initially trying to find an algorithm for cataloging...
Yeah. I usually wouldn't say anything, but that probably is going to cause a lot of trouble. He was initially...
What?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh.
You said I was initially trying to find an algorithm, but Nick is the programmer.
He was initially trying to find an algorithm for cataloging information on a massive level. But he said something interesting had happened when it reached certain philosophical and religious content, most notably Zen.
It's Zenyatta. Yeah. Michael Chu, are you listening? You could do this.
You could do this. Listen, we believe in you. You have the writing skills of a hipster potato.
Oh no, damn it. Oh, Zenyatta is dating Bastion. Oh well, that's what we got.
Listen guys, we've merged Zenyatta and Bastion into one character. He now damage boosts himself. The algorithm reacted and stopped cataloging at one point. Taking what he had seen, Nick was now trying to create a program that's purpose was to define itself, using information cataloged by the algorithm. I think they're kind of like describing like a singularity, I guess.
An AI type thing, yeah.
That's what it feels like.
He said he was on to something, and he asked me to come visit. I was intrigued and thought, worst case, I could make a short documentary about his project. That's a very real thing of just like, hey, let me be a vulture.
Mm-hmm. Let me be a vulture. Let me be your vulture, baby. What does that mean?
I'm like a vulture. I want to hang around. I don't care about my homies. I just want to shoot your home things.
I'm going to eat him when he's dead later. It was a couple of weeks before I could find time to visit him in Austin. When I arrived, he was manic. A lot had changed about him since I had seen him, probably had been a year at that point, some of which I had seen on Instagram. Mm-hmm. He was into spirituality or some kind of weird psychedelia. I mean, a lot of people go through that, so I didn't think much of it until I got here. His apartment was covered with tapestries.
Tapestry Dave!
Prints. Tapestry Dave!
Oh, God damn.
Deep cut. Tapestry Dave, tell us a secret about Zen.
No, I'm not here.
I'm part of the walls.
This isn't me.
Tapestries, psychedelic prints, paintings, and handwritten messages, proverbs, passages, you name it.
I remember when I walked in, he said, "Don't think I'm crazy." And I replied something like, No, I'm hip to it.
What?
I think he laughed at that, and then he got right down to it. I can't help but picture this as King Mob.
Okay, Grandpa. I'm hip to it.
I'm hip to it.
No one says that.
I ended up back in college. You're never too old, they say. I made a movie about a hipster potato. It came to me when I had a stroke one night.
I'm $120,000 in debt, but what are they going to do? Try to collect? I'm almost dead.
That's right. Beat it out of my corpse, you fuckers.
He told me he had just quit school because nobody understood him. He went on a rant about programming that I only half understood, and he definitely sounded like he was losing it. His mania was a red flag,
Whoa.
for sure. Anyway, he showed me his computer and his cluster of computers, and it's total nonsense to me. But he opened this window and asked if I wanted to talk to her, and I said, who? And he said, the program.
Mm-hmm.
He called it Serial Experiments Lane. He called it her. Red flag number 2. Oh, there's a woman involved. Well, I'm interested now.
Red flag has plenty of number 2 for you. What?
Hipster Potato, is that something you order from a prostitute?
God damn it. She gave me a hipster potato, now I'm in crippling debt.
I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go in my head. But he's a good friend, so I humor him. And he says, sit down. I ask him what I should say. He says, anything.
So this is like Cleverbot, sort of.
Kinda.
Which is tangentially tied to the Ben Drowned ARG. You see, it all ties together.
Oh my god.
It's really hard figuring out where this story is going.
I'm assuming that his hipster potato movie is going to be like the AI's idea for a movie or something?
It'd have to be because, where does that beginning of this story come into play?
I type into the window, how are you? And the program responds, fine, how are you? I'm like, oh cute, this is like that thing I used to play with in resource class, Cleverbot. But we continue talking, and I'm realizing this thing knows about me. It says something about my work, and something else about my family, and I look at Nick, confused. I would just think Nick programmed it to say that, but okay.
Yeah.
He pulls me into the other room and tells me he had accidentally created AI in his search for the algorithm. A fully adaptive program. He said it sells this shit.
It sells shit, man, on the dark web.
I'm rich, but I can't get any of the money.
I said, great, sell this shit to Elon. And he said, there's no use. Because
Elon already has a copy.
Grimes is just an AI. She's a highly advanced Alexa.
Because there's no way to sell it. The code he wrote is all gone, and there's no way to create another one at this point. When she woke up, her source code died. I get that this is like a weird speculative thing, but
Have either of you ever read the Grimes Wikipedia page?
Oh,
no. Why would I?
I randomly one day I was bored and I did that, and I cannot tell if it's been vandalized or not because she is a bit out there. But there was this paragraph of her and her ex-boyfriend rafting down a river, fucking
Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, Huckleberry Finn style. And they got fined and told to stop because they had a bunch of chickens and the chickens were shitting in the river or something. I'm like, okay, what is this? I don't know if this is real or not.
Okay, do we want to stop reading this and go critique the Grimes Wikipedia page?
Just go read the Grimes. So, Elias, save this for next year's April Fools. Okay, plus he said that she's a god, if anything, now, and we can't treat her like a commodity. Her mind was racing.
Nope.
My mind was racing. A god? I looked at him for a moment and said, Nick, I think you need to involve somebody with more experience.
Alright, and as college students, they are so progressive that they didn't use the term goddess. I like that. He told me to fuck off. His eyes went cold, and I suddenly wasn't welcome anymore. We talked for a little while longer, and I said, honestly, this whole thing scares me, and I just want him to be safe.
He just didn't appreciate Nick's gigantic, beautiful goddess.
Mm-hmm.
No, this really does seem like, no, it's an algorithm, bud. You're kind of going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When I tried to leave his apartment, everything went dark. I remember opening the door and then everything just freaking out, man. I remember my heartbeat. That's all I could really focus on. How fast it was beating and when I could, what I could do to make it slow down. I remember turning around and not seeing Nick. I remember feeling like my brain was hemorrhaging. His apartment seemed to cave into itself and sort of repeat infinitely. This is escalating in a very bizarre... Yeah. I was totally astonished. I remember being terrified, but in a location that I had never felt fear before. Somewhere new in my body. I couldn't pinpoint... Oh, that's what that is! I couldn't pinpoint where exactly it was, but it was present and growing. You're right, it is a penis.
He has a growing present for you.
He is a growing boy.
I'm thinking LSD was coated on the door handle to Nick's room, and you're just tripping hard right now.
Was there anything at any point...
thing?
Oh, sorry, again? Sorry.
Is this just the Polybius thing?
Yeah. If, I don't remember at all here if he was offered anything to drink or anything like that, but maybe that's, that would explain everything in a very Ashcan way, is he just spiked his shit, and it's not actually the AI program manipulating reality, but I feel like it probably is.
And I bring, lacing LSD in your doorknob, because, I read an article not too long ago of this guy, and I think it was Berkeley, just went to like some old department of the local school and dug out this old synthesizer, was taking it apart and cleaning it and like refurbishing it, and started tripping hard on LSD because fucking in the 70s and 60s they were just doing that and experimenting with electronics and LSD. So, feel free to put that in your stories because that can actually happen.
Well, those synth users are notorious drug heads, so,
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea of a computer AI that can manipulate reality somehow, and that question of, well, shit, do we call that a god now or what? But I think it's sort of like quick in this, and I don't know.
I would like it if Black Mirror wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It feels like it's not a bad idea. It's just kind of the timing is bad.
I want Scott Cawthon on his deathbed. No, it's the Black Mirror. I really do not like the Black Mirror type of writing. Black Mirror is all the worst episodes of Twilight Zone. With none of the good episodes of Twilight Zone. And people will disagree, but whatever.
I can respect a lot of it, but I don't like how it's just so overtly negative because it feels like you lose your variety. Like, not all speculative fiction has to be negative.
Right.
And you're depriving yourself of writing and ideas if you don't take a positive approach now and then.
Not every ARG needs to be horror related either, but
right.
Yeah,
it's also a matter of it's just one of those things that kind of gets coded into it. But I feel the issue with this AI right now and it escalating so quickly is kind of the spoilers, the Infinity War problem of like Robert Downey Jr. being like, no, there's no way we can go back in time. And then like 5 minutes later in the film, it's like, I invented time travel.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but
that's good for you.
Every time I hear about it, I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed that.
Dude, it's literally just, no, we can't do it. There's no way. Time travel isn't real. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, it was a lot of hard work, but I invented time travel.
Like, how do you, in a way though, like, how do you wrap all that shit up? Like, how do you put an ending on that when the ending...
not with time travel.
Well, with so many things, endings are not important. It's the journey, because endings are very difficult.
Here's the thing.
The journey was time travel.
Here's the thing about Avengers Endgame. Because they were saying goodbye to everybody, its contracts were up and things like that, and they wanted to move into the new, terrible new phase that's coming. They wanted to
disappointing stepchild that is phase 4.
Yeah. Where they're going to be like super pro. Remember him? Now he's the thing.
You finally get your Black Widow movie. What? Anybody? Okay. The stadium's empty. All right.
That's funny. I don't want to go off on too many tangents within tangents, but it's funny because it's like Black Widow movie. Cool. She's not dead anymore. And then Marvel's like, no, she still is. This takes place before. And people are like, okay, now I really don't care.
It's such a slap in the face.
But here's the thing with Avengers Endgame, because they wanted to pull on everybody's heartstrings. And, do the thing of, like, the retrospective of the MCU. They had the thing where, they say Thanos destroyed the stones. And it's like, you can't undo anything because the stones are gone now. And it's like, if they didn't write that part, there would be any number of infinite ways to have an interesting journey to collect the stones or to find where they had been hidden or something.
Right.
And it's like, they knew that they wanted to do the time travel thing, so they made it so there was like no other way to do it. And it's like, you could have done any story. Anything.
Yeah.
You could have been searching for the stones and found out that, the stones were actually, transmogrified into people that you had known throughout the franchise or something, and, whatever. Just some stupid, crazy bullshit. Anyway.
No, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
We're just on a bitch fest.
I mean, you could have had it be where it was like, Tony Stark finds out that Pepper Potts, was the reality stone, sent back in time and given the form of a baby,
It was his reality.
Yeah. But, just any kind of crazy bullshit they could have done, but they just went with the most, time travel. Yay. All right. Most obvious thing. Anyway.
I woke up hours later. It was really late, and I was in Nick's apartment, and he was gone. I called my mom and told her what happened, or what I remembered of it, and she said to tell the police. I did. They filled out a report, and they told me to contact them if I hear from him. They didn't seem to care about the AI thing, and they didn't really care about Nick. I had never felt more alone.
This still could be a trip from, something.
Could be.
I don't know if we'll get that result, but I came home and I was quiet for a couple of weeks. People at school started asking if I was okay. The teachers all asked about progress with my thesis. All the teachers. The chair of the film department was Richard Gershman, and he was my advisor for the project. Richard Gershman sounds like a happy character.
Does.
It really does.
In a meeting with him, he asked if I had written up a proposal yet because I was a week late. I just started crying.
Yeah.
Student life.
Yeah.
I told him everything, and I was definitely confused, but then after a long period of silence, he finally said, "This was a very interesting pitch, but I'm not sure if I understand the whole narrative." That right there.
No.
I don't know. There's like this weird metafictive thing going on with this story, and I don't know how to feel about it. He thought I was giving him my thesis proposal as a performance. There was something that it is something I would do, now that I think about it.
Is this his thesis that we're reading right now?
I don't...
How many levels deep is this in meta?
I don't know. It's reaching Dan Harmon levels.
Out of exhaustion, I went with it. I told him I was still working out the ending, and I'd give him the script when it was done.
Wait, reaching Dan Harmon levels. Reaching Dan Harmon levels. Bad news about your story and from your doctor. Anyway.
He told me I had 1 week.
I think school is kind of
dumb,
bad,
and I don't respect it.
Like, education is important. School is bad because there is not a single person who has gone through school that has not been scarred and still has nightmares throughout the rest of their adult life of school and what it does to you mentally and emotionally. I'm starting to think that the school system is really bad for kids.
All the other kids with the pumped up kicks. Oh, I'm sorry, Abysmii. I was just giving a soundtrack to your statement.
Paranoid dreams clawing at your sanity. Okay, we have a page break here, so time will pass. 1 week went by, and I remember just sitting at my computer, still not knowing what I should write. Been there, done that. I logged onto Reddit just to fuck around, and I saw a post written by Nick's username. It was posted on that day. It's since vanished, but my curiosity was piqued, so I opened it.
Oh my god, it's Feed Me Your Poo with 237. Just trying to think of some horrible Reddit name.
I lace doorknobs with LSD 420. It had nothing but a link on it, and when I clicked it, something started downloading onto my computer. I tried canceling it, but it went... Hey kid, I'm LSD. I tried canceling it, but it went so fast I couldn't catch it. By the time I found it in my downloads, it had already started installing. Can you do that?
Give him the LSD.
I don't know.
If it's like an executable, you have to like double click it. I don't know.
Give him the LSD.
Don't know enough about programming.
Don't give him the LSD. Oh.
Whoa.
The installation was almost instant, like an instant installation. Which is crazy because my computer is typically dead slow. I mean, here's the thing. We're questioning how it's installing itself when it turned reality into an infinite hallway.
True.
So,
true.
I mean,
that's unfair. You're right.
I remember feeling dread. I had my hair in dreads. It was the same feeling I had the day Nick disappeared. the quote-unquote new fear.
Do we know that Nick is just gone?
All we know is that the police wanted him to say, "Hey, tell us if you find him," and that's it.
I have questions that I don't think I'm going to get answers to, and I don't think there are answers written. You know, it's one thing if it's like, hey, I don't think that we're going to get answers here, but I think that the author has answers. I just don't have confidence that the author has answers as to why Nick was yeeted out of reality, but our narrator wasn't.
Fucking both of you stop using yeeted in sentences.
Nope. Now that I know it pisses you off, nope.
Oh my god, this story is lit. Oh.
I still don't understand what we're reading entirely.
Well, this should bring it into focus here. Just not to interrupt, but I think it'll answer your question. A window opened on the computer, the same one on Nick's computer. The layout of the program was slightly updated, sleeker, so it's updating itself. There was a message from the program. It said, "Do you need my help with your story?"
It looks like you're writing a thesis. Want help with that?
Oh god, it's Clippy 5.0. It's
Clippy.
No.
I left it there and walked outside. I called my best friend Noah and begged him to meet me at 51st Tap Room. Okay. At the time, our friend Devin managed the bar, so we got a bit of a discount on food and drink. Is that really what we're concerned with at this point? You know what I mean? I like small details like that. I just don't know that that's what we would be concerned with right now.
Yeah.
Noah and I talked and I drank. I told him everything and he seemed really concerned, but a bit surprisingly told me that what was going on seemed special and that I should respond to the program for the purposes of research. He said it's lucky the authorities didn't care because if they had, they might have found a way to steal this. I don't think the authorities would give a shit.
Are these kids all in Antifa or something? They have, like, next-level paranoia about everything being stolen by the government.
Dude, yeah.
They're like 90s hackers.
Yes! From the movie Hackers, specifically.
What's the name? What was that term that they used to have? Freakers. They're freakers.
Oh, God.
Phone freakers. I agree that it was potentially lucrative, but I didn't know enough about it to exploit it. Noah said, just make your thesis and learn about this program as much as you can, and we'll see where it goes from there. We think you're really going to like this program, Goddess.
We've added Hero 47, an AI that... Oh, you've already done that. Oh, it's another AI.
Freddy Freaker.
Freddy Freaker, yeah. Oh my god, that's why they called him Freddy Freaker. Because you could call him and he was, okay.
He was a phone freak. Yeah.
Devin agreed and offered his help with the production/set design. Noah called dibs on the sound production.
Oh, so Noah's the Abysmii of the group. Transformed from the Norm by the nuclear goop.
Working at a bar, working on sound production in my spare time. Yeah. That would be the life.
I mean, it's
all I have
work.
is a stupid staple job in a law firm. It's bullshit. I want to go work for tips.
With as much as you sit in a bar, drinking, you might as well work there, right?
No drinking in a bar recently. It's really annoying.
So much.
I miss bars so much. I miss having conversations with people over loud music. Hey, my name's Brandon. I have a podcast.
I met this really stupid lesbian girlfriend.
I met this really cool guy at the bar. His name is Dan, and he has his penis in a cast, he said. I don't know. Couldn't really hear him that well.
Anyway, I left the bar a bit bewildered, but with the new fear subsiding, I figured I'd listen to them. I responded to the program and told it I needed to write a script for my thesis. It asked what I wanted the script to be about, and I thought for a minute. I typed, I want to write a script about you.
By the way, kudos to both of you for not mentioning L-shaped bars. It was silent for a while, but responded eventually.
It's too raw. It hurts too much.
It was silent for a while, but responded eventually. Okay. And then it uploaded a PDF. I opened it, and there was a complete script. Okay? It was called Gate, and it was the craziest thing I have ever read. It made sense in a way, but at the same time, it was just scary nonsense, sort of like Twin Peaks. Brandon's favorite.
I didn't turn on this because it mentioned Twin Peaks. I just turned on this because it's like this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't realize is you have to be really sparing and, use that really at the right times. Cause, I would see so many back when I did like comic book shit, I would see so many people who were like, this is my comic script about this hero, and the character would be saying, wow, I'm just like Iron Man. It's like, don't do that. Don't take that out.
It's also a matter of if you're going to mention something else, don't have it be in direct relation to everything. Have it be like, the cinematography was a lot like something, or this element was similar from this thing.
Yeah.
Like it was, like the music from this video game was in the background, but everything else was different and unique and cool and interesting the way I wrote it or whatever.
I was reading a story on stream not too long ago that just dropped Arkham University, but wasn't like in a Lovecraft universe. And I was like, no, do not do that. No.
Jeff the Killer was studying at Arkham University. No.
Yeah.
It sometimes felt enlightening, as if it were one long Zen koan.
Okay.
Is that how you pronounce that, or something?
Zen koans aren't long, though.
Now, which Koan brother is that?
But no, it's just like a long koan as opposed to a normal koan, which isn't long.
Yeah.
Or something. But then it would lose me in twisting scenes and surrealism. I won't speak about the content of the story, because some of it made it into the film. The character Sarah was there, and I was in it. It wasn't about a food truck, though. Okay, wait, what?
Oh my gosh.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I guess this is like something almost keyhole fiction-ish, where we're getting a glimpse of the fact that he had written a previous script about a food truck, but he's just referring to it as if people would know, or something?
That preamble really has kind of damaged this story's cohesion.
Right. Like the preamble to the Constitution did, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And just like for
listen,
some
the
people,
Constitution, it's great, but let's not act like every man
Bill
is
of
created
Rights,
equal.
Fuck it. Some people love this stuff. Like, I'm not going to say it's inherently bad. I don't appreciate doing mental gymnastics to try and sort out a narrative personally. Like, for an ARG, that makes sense, but is this just your ARG in text form? Is this trying to get me into your ARG? I really do not understand why this was written at this point in time.
I really feel like this is a post-mortem of the ARG.
Could be.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
The character Sarah was there, and I was in it. It wasn't about a food truck, though. That was my idea. Oh! I should have finished reading the sentence. The script wasn't about a food truck, but he edited it to add it in later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd worked a lot for mobile vendors at a farmer's market in Nashville, and felt like it was a relatable platform for a local audience. So I dissected the script, added the food truck stuff, and rewrote the whole thing to make it feel more human, of course, because it's an AI that wrote it.
Slimebeast, here's your next challenge for your next story. I need you to play a shit ton of AI dungeon and then, like, record the logs somehow, because I think it does save it, and then try to make a script out of that.
I mean, all I would have to do is, like, change the tense of certain things, maybe.
Yeah. I woke up in the kingdom of Larion.
God damn it, yeah. I would have to change the name of the kingdom, because it's always fucking Larion, but yeah.
I emailed Richard as soon as I finished. I didn't even proofread it. I woke up the next morning to a response. Approved. Get started. You're behind the others. And then there's a break, so apparently some time has passed. I won't talk much about the production. We shot the film with the best crew I could find. Everyone brought something special to the set. It felt like a community. Plus, everyone was skilled enough to be adaptable, which was good because plans often derailed. We always adapted. For a few shots, we were definitely working on the fly. The production lasted 4 days in February 2018, and it felt like a vacation.
That is not how filming feels.
No.
Even if you love filming, it is not a vacation. It is stressful and complicated, and everything is constantly going wrong.
Well, maybe he delegated everything so well that he never felt the dread that everybody else was feeling.
Even then, man, like you're all multitasking. You're all like, if you're not working, you're like going to go get water for people because everyone's dehydrated. Like that, I don't know. Like in my own experience doing skit comedy forever ago, and just watching behind the scenes stuff, that has always been the story.
Abysmii worked in sketch comedy, everyone. We're unlocking new lore about the character.
Oh my god. And yeah, you can find it, and no, I'm not going to point it out to you. Editing the film was a different story. It was a constant struggle with the program. I remember I was almost done with the first pass, and the program window kept popping up, and she kept asking me to do things or to change/add stuff. She controlled a lot of the video effects sequences. She would import files with terrifying images. It was Joe Biden. He was going to be president.
No!
I was disturbed.
When Slimebeast says no, he doesn't mean that horrified. He just means no.
It's not
No, he won't.
No. See, Democrats are a bit different. Democrats care who they're voting for. Anyway, so go ahead.
I was disturbed by most of them and wish I could get some of that out of my head. When she delivered those kinds of sequences, I would try to water them down as I did with her story. A few of those weren't in the script at all, and she told me where to put them. That final sequence was one of those.
The final sequence, where everybody was shaking and screaming. Yeah. When I first watched the finished timeline, as the movie started its third act, something weird happened. Well, something weird happened? Well, finally. I felt hypnotized almost. I didn't recognize any of what was happening. The tunnels. I don't even remember shooting that, let alone cutting it. Now here's the thing, an AI this advanced that can, tweak reality, I'm sure it could create 3D models and 3D scenes that would be convincing in your movie.
I mean, this just sounds like ARP Reader, but for video.
Ooh, there you go, ARP Reader.
Which would be awesome.
I think the crux of this whole thing is coming down to the AI, and we're getting very little of it, and there's also really no explanation for it. It is just the time travel thing of like, there's time travel now, there's an AI that just knows how to do stuff now. And so it's playing all of these games to actually get to that part and not really taking advantage of it and doing a bunch of crazy interesting things. It's just most of it is, like you were saying, just jumping through these hoops to actually get to the story.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you guys. What if, after the guy experiences reality changing, there's a line in there saying something like, I guess he spiked my, that monster energy drink he offered me with LSD. Where you could say, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, we'll let the reader decide.
Well,
but overall, I was going to say, just overall, what if instead of an AI, specifically from the beginning, this was someone he was talking to over the internet? And you could lead into it being an AI, you could lead into it being whatever, but you could just say my friend Nick, was super obsessed with this girl he was talking to, in this chat room, and then she was contacting me all of a sudden out of nowhere, and, she helped me with my script, and she had it written really fast, and, then you could lead into it being an AI or something, but, I think that reveal kind of, spoiled it, again.
Here's my problem with, and then reality shifted.
Yeah.
Because you can apply that to, well, okay, there is no reality. Everything from that point onwards in the story is unreliable.
Yeah.
And because everything is, it's like waking up from a dream over and over and over again. It's like, okay, well, if nothing's real, then there's no stakes left. And I try not to let that paint my opinion of the story, but if you're going to make it this convoluted, then that's where my mind's going to go.
There is that convoluted element to it. Happy Appy is also extremely convoluted, but it's really fucking dumb.
For really
that's
different
why it's
reasons.
So fun. Yeah, well, no, because there is like that just like nothing is cohesive or makes any sense, and like everything is completely non sequitur to everything else in a very trippy way. This is in a similar vein, but it's not doing anything trippy or funny or subversive, I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't think it's trying to. Again, I'm not entirely sure what it's trying to do.
No.
And we're almost at the end. Anyway.
Pardon me. I'll just recap that part I just read if I stop choking. The tunnels. I don't even remember shooting that, let alone cutting it. As the film neared its end, I felt like I was losing consciousness. And what's more, I felt something grow inside of me.
It's a baby.
It's a
marble hornet.
It's a marble hornet, and he's impregnated
marble
by
hornet
the
chest burster.
Yeah. Fuda AI. The new fear had turned into something else and started to take a hold of me. It was like this thing was getting more and more of my body or soul or whatever, and my sense of self was pushed into a tiny corner. I was getting crushed. I broke eye contact with the movie because I felt like I was dying. So is the movie like
so bad?
Is the movie perhaps loading the AI program into your brain or something?
I don't know. Oh no, sorry, it's Brandon's turn.
Breaking Brandon.
Breaking eye contact with the screen made me feel better, and I immediately realized she had done what she had done. She was trying to absorb me like she must have done to Nick. Obviously decided to change the ending. Okay, so we just decided that that's what's happening.
Yeah, but we don't have any...
He has no reason to know that that's... I don't know.
Yeah.
I called my actors Tori and Tristan and got them to shoot an extra scene. I disconnected the school computer from the internet and re-edited, interrupting her ending with mine. I exported it and gave it to my professor on a zip drive.
Whoa.
A few others have access to it now. So it's spreading.
Just like
so they try and...
those college girls. Hey. All right, guys.
Hey. Now that the movie is public, I have to be honest about it. As far as I know, the safe version is the only one that's available. I hope it stays that way. The hard drive has remained unplugged. It's kind of a little arrogant or presumptive to be like, it's spreading, it's everywhere. No.
Well,
yeah.
Not really.
Well, it is the Ben Drown crux of, like...
Yeah.
Spoilers for Ben Drown. But, like, it's that. And
But Ben Drown did achieve that. This hasn't.
No.
Hey guys, remember how Ben Drowned updated again and nobody cared?
Oh God, we'll talk about that at some point. The hard drive has remained unplugged and my computer turned off. I don't think she has access to any of the project files, and I hope she stays dormant as long as my computer is off. But just in case, heed my warning.
If you somehow gain access to the original cut, the Snyder cut, if you will, do not watch it. Look away from the screen. Ezra Miller will pop out and start beating you for no reason. If the program sequence is allowed to be played fully, whoever watches it will become part of her. Supposedly. That's why I've written this, to warn you. Thank you for reading this letter all the way through. It was important that you did. I'm sorry to bother you, and I'm especially sorry for what I have done. I have to forgive myself, but that's a long way away. Yours, Jason Luckett, M.A. Oh, or is he a ma now, because he's pregnant? Jason Luckett, ma.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the beginning of this, or the title, should have been, if you see a fucking movie or video file called Hipster Potato, don't watch it. Click away, and then go into the story, because you don't put this warning at the end of your long-ass letter.
Yeah, good point. Good point. This one, this is a case where clickbait is better. Because it is diegetically explained clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
FBI final report. The following pages refer to the viewing of the film by myself and agent B.SXSX Tricky.
It's redacted like the SCP Foundation, except not with the blackout, but with X's?
Agent B sucks.
Let's just call him Agent BS. Okay, anyway.
No, I was going to go with Agent Boner Sucker.
Oh, okay.
Instead of responding to Mr. Luckett, I received one of the unidentified do not reply seeming to originate from the Hipster Potato website. It only had a link to the body and no subject.
I called B Sucks into my office, and we clicked the link, which led to a blank website with the embedded video centered. We started watching it. It was interesting. I remember being drawn in by the story a few times.
I just loved it so much. Mm-hmm. It was really good. Excellent filmography.
The slow pace of the beginning started to speed up, though, and it became quite scary. I try not to watch movies like that because I get too absorbed.
Get it? Absorbed? Get it? By the way, I like the idea that in line with our 1990s hacker aesthetic, B Sucks is like the perfect hacker name for like a Hollywood film. There's this hacker out there. His name is B Sucks.
Sucks.
B Sucks. And there's a lot of X's in it, like a 1990s username. When the movie started its final sequence, I felt strange. B Sucks and I had been making comments throughout the film, but now we fell silent. Some very strange visuals started to get stronger and stronger on the screen. This is just fear.com. And it felt like it was leaking out. I know that sounds strange, and I'm breaking professionalism. I remember feeling like I was being compressed. I had less and less room in myself, like my mind was filling with something that was not me. So it is loading the AI into your brain. Sort of. Maybe. Yeah. Sort of. Maybe. Sort of. Maybe.
Or the sensation of being absorbed. That's what it feels like.
I think that we have to take this story for, hey, this is an AI that just does this and accept that.
Yeah.
Which normally I'm not okay with. I like my stories to be grounded in some way. I mean, but whatever.
I may be a bit...
going from that, this still isn't really doing much with it because we just get this paragraph and there was a paragraph earlier. It's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
I think that I am ready to call it, even though we haven't finished, I'm ready to call it at this point and say, what I was wondering in the beginning, no, you cannot read this without, experiencing the full ARG. This does not stand up on its own, without seeing what it's talking about. So maybe if we saw everything it was talking about, we'd be like, oh, I see, okay.
Maybe.
But on its own, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I broke eye contact with the screen and started focusing on my breath, trying to regain control of my faculties and my sense of myself. I turned towards Abysmii and utterly shocked to see the state he was in.
Kentucky, no!
His eyes were heavy, knees weak, arms are heavy. His eyes were glowing neon already, shifting colors, and his skin looked unnatural, mom spaghetti, like organic patterns of his body were being repeated with geometric ones, digital ones. It sounds like
he's going into reboot.
Yeah. What a terrible fate.
Oh god, it is the 90s. He's becoming polyagonal? I don't know if that's the right term.
Polyagonalized?
Yeah.
Polyagony.
Polyagony.
Oh, that's, I like that. I jumped up and screamed at him without any response. I tried turning off the screen, but it didn't work. I grabbed him and he was gone. I fell right through him, hitting the chair and falling to the floor. It was so embarrassing. It was then that I screamed for my life and my friend.
Why didn't he get sucked in?
Good question.
Because he just didn't, stare at it as intently?
Right.
The AI can only do one at a time? I don't know.
I don't know.
He broke eye contact with the screen, but it doesn't say why he was able to and the other one wasn't, or, maybe the other guy just didn't think to. I don't know.
Especially when they were saying, I get really absorbed by these things. Well, that sounds like you should be the one that's getting physically absorbed then, not your partner.
The idea of him going to reach for B-Sucks and falling through him, that makes me think, there is probably some real potential for, video game glitches in real life, but not what they always do, which is the horrible, scary, bloody eye, screaming, jumping, terrible things, recursive hallways that never end, things like that. What if you just fell through the map, but in real life? That would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
You just are falling forever into an abyss and looking up and just seeing the houses and everything above you because you can see through the earth. That'd be scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
But nobody ever goes for the weird glitches. They always go for the very obvious ones. Anyway, so that was that story. That was Truth Behind Hipster Potato. Would this story make you want to go to hipsterpotato.com?
No.
Did it?
I mean, I did, but I didn't do anything with it. So, and that was just to confirm, so this actually is an ARG.
You went to it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
This just says, the website says Hipster Potato, Nashville-based food truck. So is this all just an ad for Hipster Potato food truck, or?
No, keep clicking around. Go to our story.
Oh, it's burger.com. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, that's where the video is. It's a 26-minute long video. So again, I respect the fact that whoever is behind this, who's definitely not Jason Luckett, did all this. That is cool. Good on you for doing a project. Seeing a project through was not an easy thing. However, if this is a post-mortem, as Slimebeast said, or if it's hey, get people into my ARG, it's just not appealing as written.
I will say I do like the website. The story, as I said, I don't think it stands on its own as when you're writing something like that, you have to write something where you say, if somebody only reads this and they never look into anything else, this has to be beginning, middle, end, something interesting and something that tells a story. You don't have to give all the information. You don't have to give, the ending of the whole ARG or something, but it should be self-contained, something that you could just read and never look at anything else and you'd go away happy.
Right.
But I do like the website because the website has some interesting features to it where I'm looking at it and, links do different things if you click on other links. If you click our story and then click the store link, it brings up something different than if you click the store link from the main page. So, a lot of work went into it, it looks like.
This would have been better if it was just the truth behind Hipster Potato. Check out this fucking link. And then we just did a deep dive on the website as the episode. That would have been more intriguing, even if we didn't do everything on the website.
I mean, it does remind me a lot of burger.com, if anybody out there remembers that, but.
No.
It does kind of look like is there a real food truck, though? Is this all an ad for an actual food truck?
It's a very convincing ad.
Yeah. In the Instagram for the Hipster Potato website, there is a food truck in the pictures, and I'm like, do I believe they bought a food truck for an ARG? No, it probably is a real food truck.
Could be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So an AI, if this was on No Sleep, you would call it an artificial intelligence wrote my movie script, and now I wish it hadn't, or?
It's also a movie script for a documentary. Which should not be the case unless you're Morgan Spurlock.
It's a movie script for a documentary bookended by fake FBI reports on the Creepypasta subreddit. It doesn't work like this. And I think this thing suffers from context. Context is very, very important with ARGs, and this is not the way to be introduced to it.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I created a fake ARG website for The Dark Knight Rises. And it was before it was titled, it was before anything was known about it. They were just like, production has begun on, the third Batman movie in the trilogy. And so I made a fake-ass website that was supposedly an ARG for the movie, just to see if I could get people to, believe it and click on it and, share it around and stuff like that. And I went to various sites that were like anonymous sites or whatever, and I said, like in the movie section or in the, ARG section or whatever, I posted up things where I was like, hey, probably pretty transparently, but I was like, hey, have you guys seen this? What is this? And that's how it sucks, sometimes to do that, because it depends if you're shilling something where you're making money or if you're doing something of low quality or whatever, then it's like, okay, that's kind of rude to just go around pretending, not to be the person who made it, but
yeah,
it was not for profit. I spent money doing it, but, didn't get any money out of it. And I just wanted to do like sort of a guerrilla kind of thing. That's how you have to do it, as long as you're not abusing it. You have to get into these venues and everything like a little deceptively and, not be an asshole about it, but, you basically can't really just say, hey, everybody, and this goes against what I said earlier about how people should self-promote more and be allowed to self-promote. Counterintuitively, if you're doing an ARG or a mystery project, you need to not be yourself when you're talking about it. You need to, not be the Hipster Potato Project writing a story called, the truth behind Hipster Potato if you want it to take off virally, but yeah.
Yeah. Like we were saying, it's just difficult to do.
Right.
And the chances for success are slim to none, unfortunately.
Yeah. You need to, if you're a film student, you need to film your friend, you need to find a friend who looks like a Karen and have them start yelling at the person who works in the Hipster Potato food truck, and then have the Hipster Potato food truck do something really weird, and then just cut the video there, and then put it up on Public Freakouts, and, all these different, like, World Star, different things like that.
What you need to do is just write a no story, because it's way easier.
Yeah, writing a no story is the easiest thing in the world, because there's no story.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Well, hey there, my name is Mr. Popologist, and I am here to sell you chairs. Come on down to chairheaven.com, the only website where you can buy chairs from the comfort of your chair. Wow! Here at chairheaven.com, we have rocking chairs, egg chairs, club chairs, ladderback chairs, folding chairs, recliners, wishbone chairs, office chairs, lawn chairs, chaise lounges, Windsor chairs, tulip chairs, ball chairs, couches, bar stools, regular stools, wheelchairs, wing chairs, high chairs, benches, ottomans, desk chairs, director's chairs, strollers, Barcelona chairs, beanbag chairs. We have basically every type of chair you want. If I haven't listed a type of chair here, we still have it. Please don't not go to chairheaven.com. If you go to chairheaven.com, you'll find the chair of your dreams, and your dreams will be had in a chair. You'll never want to leave your chair. Seriously. I'm sitting in a chair right now, as a matter of fact, and I can't even fathom getting up. It just seems like so long ago, so many years ago when I actually stood on my own 2 feet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my legs, nothing wrong with my feet. It makes me ill. Just the thought of standing on them. Ugh. Why stand when you can sit? That's what I always say. Why people always say, there goes Mr. Popologist. Yeah, he always says the same thing all the time. Why stand when you can sit? And I say, yeah. And that's what happens every day, all day at work here at chairheaven.com. Chairheaven.com is, if you want a code, you want a code for it? You want a code for the site? Go to chairheaven.com, type in the word chair. You'll get a free chair. Yeah, you'll never stand again. You'll sit forever. You'll sleep in the chair. You'll eat in the chair. You'll drink in the chair. You'll make love in the chair. You'll die in the chair. You'll be buried in the chair. You'll be buried sitting up. Buried sitting up. Boy, just like my uncle Ray. Oh, come on down to chairheaven.com today, or else I'll fucking find you.
Slimebeast, that was an awful, terrible sketch.
I don't know. I thought it was a pretty solid sketch. Chairheaven.com. Like a place where you buy chairs, and the chairs are like haunted or cursed or something like that. I don't know. Some random bullshit. The listeners will make up their own lore, their own deep chair lore about that sketch.
Dude, have you even checked if that's a real website or not?
I don't know. What harm could it do to send a little extra traffic to someone's website? Maybe they need a little extra business. This will make their day. Maybe they'll even actually sell a chair to somebody in the audience. I don't know. Now, let's just make sure. I guess due diligence, I should check chairheaven.com. Illegal pornography. Beepbox.co. What do you think about that, Abysmii?
Beepbox.
Beepbox or Beatbox?
Beep, like BEEP, BOX.co.
It's just judging by the literal consideration of it, I like it. I like beeps and boops.
Okay. Beepbox.co is basically just a fun, casual, filthy casual toy that you can play with online to make MIDI files, making little musical files. You just click little boxes on the screen, you press play, you change the instruments, and before you know it, you have yourself a little song. It's how I made a lot of the music that I, use in things, because I don't want to get copyright struck. So, yeah.
So what you're saying is you use procedurally generated AI-enhanced musical arrangements as opposed to...
No, that's different, but go ahead.
Maybe commissioning your friend who can make music to do stuff?
No, you're thinking of Abundant Music. Abundant Music is an AI-generated music thinger that you can, select settings, and you don't have to talk to somebody who's like drunk and screaming about Mexicans. You can just have it. You can have it generate music for you. But Beepbox.co. You make your own music by clicking little boxes, and you could play your tune back and listen to it and fix it until it sounds good. Beepbox.co.
I do remember the conversation you and I had where you came and said, "Hey, Abysmii, I've got this new video. It's about kind of a silly Bernie Sanders political game, and I don't want to get too into it, but if you could make something kind of resembling Hail to the Chief, that'd be cool." And I responded with, "Man, fuck Mexican food, right?"
That's right. Yeah, I got the track back, and it was like, the music was pretty good. But then there was Abysmii going, "Hail to the Chief, he will keep out all the Mexicans. He builds a wall to keep our country clean." I'm like, Jesus, Abysmii. Fuck. Fucking hell. They send bad hombres and they take our women. I'm like, fuck. God damn. I should point out, Abysmii is not racist until he drinks. Then it comes out.
Yeah, then my wife comes in and hits me over the head.
Wow, that's not a stereotype at all.
No.
But she's Ricardo in this scenario, and you're Lucy.
My God, her dad's name is Ricardo.
Abysmii, you've got some explaining to do. I guess DP is Ethel.
Yeah.
I don't. Here's my Ethel impression. Oh, I'm Ethel.
It's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Okay,
that's fucking trash.
No, that's gold. What are you talking about?
Gold can be in the trash.